evening, everybody. My name is Dorine. I'm a very grateful recovering addict.
Welcome. Love you lot.
Love you too. And it's truly good to be here, you know. And, you know, just now when he was saying everybody couldn't stay in the room, you know, it really got sort of nice to me, you know, because it's so much love that's generated in these rooms, you know. And that's what has been keeping me going, you know, the love from these rooms and things that we get when we come in here. And I'm sorry everybody couldn't stay in here, you know. To give you a little bit about myself, I'm supposed to be talking about love and lust today, and I want to know why in the hell they give me a topic like love and lust, you know, because my thing has really passed over, you know what I'm saying? The mother is not in any shape anymore. And I've been scratching my head and scratching my head. I said, now what the hell am I going to say about some love and lust? You know, when for real, you know, and everybody may fall out the seats about that, you know. This, I have not had any, yeah. Well, I haven't had any contact in over 15 years. Really. I have not had any contact in over 15 years. Oh, my ass, that's the truth. So, I've been around here long enough to know the difference between love and lust. You understand? I come in this fellowship, you know. I come in another fellowship because we did not have NA at the time that I started getting myself together. And I had to go to another fellowship. And when I started going to another 12-step program, that was in 74. I stopped using hard drugs back in 68, June of 68. And I count my clean time in 74 because I went from one extreme to the other extreme. I stopped using hard drugs, as we say, and I started drinking alcohol real heavy. So when I count my clean time, I count when I stop with all the drugs, because alcohol is a drug. And when I come in to this fellowship, I was hurting so bad, you know, that I wanted some help when I come in here. I did not come in here looking for a man, looking for a job. I've come in here to try to find out how I could get myself together. The first meeting that I went to, it was an anniversary in the other fellowship. And the first time in my life I had been around people that were so willing to talk about themselves, so openly and so honest. But I said to myself, these people got to be lying in here. Because I have never heard anybody talk about themselves like these people were talking about themselves. I was the type of person that I would talk about everybody in this room, but you stay out of my business. I don't want nobody in my business. So when I heard these people talking, I had to come back to see if it really was for real. And I got into this fellowship just in time, because I always knew how to stop using, but I never knew how to stay stopped. Because something would always happen to me every time I would stop. There was a void that needed to be filled. And I have stopped using on numerous occasions. And like everybody, if I could get me a job, if I could get me a man, apartment, a car, bank account, I'd be all right. And I accomplished these things. But it was still a void that needed to be filled. And I did not know how to fill this void. So eventually, trying to fill this void, I went back to the drug of my choice, to the lustful ways that I had, because I knew nothing about dealing with life at all. Because I would always deal with my ass instead of my head.
Come on.
And this was the only way I knew how to get over. But I wanted to find out something different. I wanted to find out who I was, where I was, and what was my purpose in life. So when I came into these meetings, like I said, not looking for a man, job, money, or nothing. I come in here really to get my head together. And I sit in these rooms, and I had no problems sitting in these rooms because I was so happy to be around people. And I began to open up, and I began to talk, and I talked so much that really I had no problem out of nobody trying to 13-step me. Because I was telling on me. So you know, if I was telling on me, you know I'm going to tell on you too. So really, they was really afraid to even try to hit on me. Because they didn't know what I was going to say. And I got in here. And I was married at the time. My husband was still actively using. And I knew one thing, that we could not stay together. Because he was about one thing and I was about something else. Now, I did not want to give up my man. Here I am, a woman in my prime. And you tell me I got to give up my man? This is my sponsor sitting over here. Because every week it was something about me and my man. It was like a seesaw. This week it was all right, and the next week I'm leaving. Till my sponsor caught me one day, and I called him. He said, look, let me tell you one thing. He said, I'm tired of hearing about you and that man. He said, can't nobody make no decision for you. Either you're going to get up and do something about it, or you're going to stay there and keep your damn mouth closed and take whatever it is. I hung the phone up and I said, who in the hell he think he talking to? I walked up and down the floor and I said, how dare he talk to me like that? But when I looked at it, it was the gospel truth. And I was tired of going through that seesaw myself. So I made a decision. And the decision I made was to leave my man. Now, y'all looking at the mother standing up here now. I don't have my teeth in my mouth. And I don't give a damn. I lost the last set in Chicago, and I said, I'm not buying no more. I ain't trying to pull or get nothing. Not at my age. So after I left my man, I can't tell y'all that I was so strong. Because coming in here, there are various different phases that we go through with. And one of those phases is that once we get cleaned up and get ourselves together, you know, and get a little fresh around the edges, you understand me, and perk the lips up with a little lipstick and Maybelline in the eyes and get the hair done. And ladies, I'm talking. And put on the tight dresses, you know, and looking good. You got some beautiful ladies in here. Then all of a sudden, somehow or another, it seemed like the sap get to rising. We can't keep still, or we can't do without a man. Talking about, is it love or lust? All right, men, the same thing. Come in here. Brothers, get it together. And got some fine-looking brothers in here. You get to looking good. You get to feeling good. You know, and the girls get to... You know, I'm a butt one myself. I like them butts. Then somehow or another we sort of come together. And like when we come together, you understand me, we these feelings get to sort of like creeping up, you know, like we ain't been clean and so alive and so long that we begin to feel, you know, and when we begin to feel, it look like we sway with them feelings, whistle on down, you know. And then before you know it, we done got hooked up there. And we get hooked up like with that same old behavior that brought us in here. Is it love or lust? And then before you know it, there we are off to the races again. And we keep wondering what is wrong. You know? And I'm here to tell you, I'm 59 years old. And the mother is just beginning to find out what a wholesome relationship is. Of all my years of being out there, I had a man, and I loved my man. And if it was sex to keep me and my man together, we wouldn't have been together because it wasn't that. But I loved this man because he was the man that he was. But my husband, a lot of you all know my husband. We were married for over 20 years. I left my husband, like I said, and we were separated for 5 years. And the mother kept working on the mother. And the husband stayed out there. After 5 years, my husband come into the fellowship. I just lost my husband in July of last year. And I really miss him. But before my husband died, he had about 14 years clean. So, you can't tell me what can't happen if you only believe and if you keep the faith and if you keep the focus on you. We're so busy trying to fix this one and trying to fix that one and trying to fix our earths that we stay in trouble, we stay confused, and we stay all mixed up. And if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen not in your time, but in God's time. When my husband got sick, he had been in this fellowship, I say, about 9 years. And at that point, my husband, truly, and I try not to be no lying woman today, we was on the verge of splitting up. Because he had got in here and he had gotten so great and so grand that I couldn't deal with it. And I'll never forget, I went to New Jersey and told him when I come back, I want you a pagged back sucker and I want you gone. And he knew I wasn't no lying woman, because I'd have had them bags packed and he'd have been out the door. But to show you how God works, when I come back and they picked me up at the airport, and they told me, Dorine, Pa, we had to take him to the hospital. I didn't think nothing about it. I said, oh, you did? So what's happened? So I don't know. So they was taking me home, and I noticed they kept me going straight past home to the hospital. And I wanted to find out, well, where we going? I said, we're going to the hospital. They took me to Providence Hospital. My husband had a massive heart attack. His heart literally exploded on him. And I said, y'all didn't tell me it was this bad, you know. And I'm upstairs in intensive care, talking about love of lust now. And he's all out of his head talking delirious. And I heard him say, you better damn sight not go down there fucking with Dorine. And I mean, I said, who? The man's on his dying bed, in intensive care unit with everything going through him. And I'm asking, who been out there and fuck with Dorine? He said, you heard what I said. I said, who are you saying? But he wouldn't say. So some told me, he said, get back off of that and leave that alone, Doreen. But anyway, the doctor gave him a year to live, and my husband lived for 5 years. And the important part about that is that we did not split up. Because when he got sick, I really had to stand by my man. And this is when I found out about a wholesome relationship. My husband, in the last 5 years, turned out to be the man I've always wanted. We nurtured each other beautifully. My husband told me, he said, baby, why can't we find this out a long time ago? Why does something like this have to happen? He said, I'm living better than I ever lived in my life. He said, I got the best woman in the world. He said, I love you. And he used to say it sometime in a way, I love you. He didn't even know how to say it. But we got to the point where we could sit down over a dinner table and talk to one another about the world events, look at TV together and enjoy sitting in the room with one another, holding hands. The mother could walk past him when he's sitting on the couch and say, give me a little pat. That would send cold chills all the way up my arm. And once you walk into my house, you could feel the love that was generated in that house. You understand me? Talking about, is it love or lust? My husband and I, we got very, very close. Everybody in here knows about the lust of life. Everybody in this room has been through the lust of life. But it takes something to really get in to the love. The love that we have for each other. Just being a part of another human being with no strings attached whatsoever. And I tell you this, it ain't gonna be nothing no way if God ain't in the middle of it. My husband and I, we got to the point where we would pray together. We would sing together. We would sit down and listen to the jazz and do our little thing together. and I loved it, and so did he. My husband died July the 17th, and the way that he died was so beautiful. Talking about love now. My husband went walking in the backyard after I gave him lunch, just looking up in the heavens, walking backwards and forwards, looking backwards and forwards up to the heaven. He came in the house and he looked at me. He said, "Baby, are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, baby, I'm all right." "Are you okay?" He said, "Yes." He went back out the front door. He turned around and came back in. And he sat on the couch across from me. And he looked at me and he just shook his head. He dropped his head. Then he looked back up at me. I said, "Baby, are you okay?" And he just... And he got ready to say something to me and his lip just started trembling. Like I've never seen anybody's lip tremble before. And it hit me right in my heart. And I jumped up and I grabbed his face and I kissed him all in his eyes, his nose, his lips, all around his face, and kept telling him, "Baby, it's going to be all right." He kept trying to tell me something. I said, "Baby, I love you. You know I love you." I said, "But God loves you best." So go in peace. I said, "Don't worry about me, because I'm going to be all right." And he just killed right on over. Only thing I could do was get up and just thank God for what he had given me in the little time that he had given it to me. It meant so much. And I'm saying all this, and I shared all this to you, is to tell you, come in here and do what you got to do for you. Don't worry about mama, daddy, the baby, the husband, or who. Because once you learn how to love you, it'll all fall in place. Like I say, you see the mother standing up here. I weigh 200 pounds and some more. I ain't gonna tell you how much more. I don't have no teeth in my mouth, but I can get some if I want them. And I love me today. I love me today. This is how I am so able to love somebody else. How can you give something that you ain't got to give? And the first thing we do is to think that we got to lay down and give up some nookie-wookie in order to pull this thing together. But we got to come in here and we got to learn how to respect one another. I never knew how to be a friend to a man without thinking that there was some arterial motive. And believe me, the mother had plenty of them in the back of her head. I didn't know how to take a man hugging me and listen, what's going on? Because this is the way my lifestyle was. But today, the mother can hold you, rock with you, and it's all right. I found out, ladies, that I was not a hot tomato after all. Because when I come in here and I got so burned up and so heated up, I needed me a man. But you know what I did? I went and got me, I had so many them X-rated books and X-rated tapes, and laid back on there and just had me a ball. Until I could get hold to myself and find out that I wasn't such a hot tomato after all. And today, believe me when I tell you, it don't even bother me. I still got some of the X-rated movies at home. And I still look at them every now and then. Pa would come and peep in the room and say, baby, what you? I said, come on, baby, come on in. He said, shit, you'll never kill me in there. But that was the type of understanding and relationship that we had built with one another, you know. And don't think that you always got to lay down and spread them wide, you know. What you need to do is get an understanding and be open and as honest as you possibly can with one another, you know. Learn how to sit in the same room together and talk. Learn how to do things together and be all right. Learn how to sit down and talk about things that you don't want to talk about sometimes. Learn how to say, baby, I love you. But we got to talk about this. I don't feel like it. I don't want to, but it needs to be talked about. And stop keep pointing the finger at one another. Or thinking when you get in the bed that it's going to take care of everything. Because I've gotten to bed several times and got up and still ain't spoke. And if I ever had a man that satisfied me sexually, it was my first husband. I could lay down with him and have sex with him, good sex. And get up and not speak to the sucker. And go back 5 minutes later and do it all over again, good. And get up and not speak to the sucker. But you got to be able to grow with one another. Ladies, you come in here with your head so twisted and messed up. Then you turn around and you look at another sucker whose head so twisted and messed up. Don't you know these men are just as sick as you are? They don't know nothing about wholesome relationships, just like y'all don't know nothing about wholesome relationships. And then you try to give them too much at one time. And then you're very sneaky with your shit anyway. Because you women can be just as conniving, you know, and getting your little things together and you know, trying to what you go cop, as they say, playing your little games. You got to stop that. Where is the real me? Let the real me stand out. Today, I am a woman, and I feel good about myself. I'm not going to play these games. And the same thing with you men. You know, if you go up to a woman, if you see her, say, baby, I really and truly like you. And I would like to have some sex with you. That's all. From the get-go, I ain't looking for no relationship. I just want to go to bed with you. And if you can't handle it, then tell him. I'd like to go to bed with you too, but I falls in love too quick. But the way things are happening out here today, you know, in my days, you know, they had like gonorrhea and syphilis. You go get your little shot and you be good to go in 2 weeks or so. But today, with the virus and everything running around here, we need to respect one another. And we need to help one another. You understand me? We need to love one another. You know? And you can love one another, even somebody with the vibe, before you're always jumping up and jugging. Get to know an individual. You don't know who got what, and they're not telling. They are not telling. But we need each other. And we need each other without all the bull. If you don't respect yourself, how in the hell you expect anybody else to respect you? If you don't love you, how you expect somebody else to love you? And I'm not trying to down the women, nor am I trying to down the men. But all I am saying is begin to take a look at yourself and how we begin to play these games with one another. You've got to unlearn and start relearning all over again. And that takes a lot of time. And what better way can you do it than in these rooms here with one another? I had a fella call me all the way from England. He had asked me about, I said, just go tell the woman you like the way she look, and I just like to have some sex with you, that's all. And see what she say. He called me all the way back from England. Dorine, I did what you told me to do. And the woman said, no go. I said, well, no go. Go somewhere else. But we have got to start being for real with ourselves. Is it lust or is it love? And there's a big difference. And a lot of us, that's all we know about is love. And then we try to confuse it and get it mixed up with love. But you got to start caring and thinking something about yourself. Right now, I'm not ready for another relationship. Because I don't want to lose what I captured with my husband just before he died. And if I try to get into something, I'm going to try to mold somebody into pair of shoes. And there's no man that can fit a pair of shoes right now. And that's the way I feel. Today I fear no man, woman, or child on this God's given earth today. Because today I can meet any man, woman, or child spiritually, toe to toe. Because my God's been mighty good to me. We was driving down here and somebody got it on the back of their truck. God, I owe you. I said, boy, that is mighty powerful. God, I owe you. That's what he got on his tag. And all I am saying is start caring for yourself. Start loving yourself. And you'll be all right. Things may get a little rough at times. Storms may come up at times. The sea get to rolling and rumbling. And all you got to do is just start rocking. And when you start rocking, all you got to do is just hold on. And then when you start holding on, all you got to do is just rock. I tell you, rock right on through that storm. And I always say, God, don't move my mountain, but just give me the strength to continue to climb. Don't take away my stumbling blocks, but just lead me all around. How am I going to grow if there's no adversity to grow through? I've got to have some challenges in life. And I thank God for you people in these rooms to help me get through the many storms that I had to get through with. And I look around this room and all I can say, unless I can see the goodness of the Lord amongst the land of the living, then I will believe. And when I look around this room, I see the goodness of the Lord amongst the land of the living, and I do believe. You got to have faith. You got to believe, because there is no growth without pain. And the only way out of this thing is you got to go through it. There's no easy way around it. But I thank God that I got somebody I can hold on to. And when it starts getting a little rough, I get to grunt. Mm. And I keep saying, it's going to be all right. I know it's going to be all right. Because when you know from which you come from, and you know that 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 you know, you better know an ass. And I do know today. Meeting with nobody but you and I. Nobody but you can make me happy. Oh yes, you heal me too. When I was in trouble, you brought me through. Nobody but you and I. Nobody but you. Nobody but you and I. Nobody but you can make me happy. Oh yes, you heal me too. When I was in trouble, you brought me through. Nobody but you, Ellie. Nobody but you. Who stopped my wounded heart from crying? Nobody but you and me. Nobody but you. No, nobody but you and me. Nobody but you can make me happy. Oh yes, you heal me too. When I was in trouble, you brought me through. Nobody but you and me. Nobody but you. Thank you. Bless you.
Just for today. You just... Now we just for today? Yeah. Go ahead. Tell them please quiet down, please.
Please quiet down. Please quiet down while I read just for today. Hello, family. My name is Kevin, and I'm a grateful recovering addict.
Hi, Kevin.
Just for today. Tell yourself, just for today, my thoughts will be on my recovery, living and enjoying life without the use of drugs. Just for today, I will have faith in someone in NA who believes in me and wants to help me in my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I will try to follow it to the best of my ability. Just for today, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on life. Just for today, I will be unafraid. My thoughts will be on my new association, people who are not using and who have found a new way of life. So long as I follow that way, I have no fear. Thank you.